Oh my, how the primaries are turning out. The party nominations are just one big mess. And make no mistake about it, mambo bado. Okay, unfortunately, that's the situation that I have to report today. Now you'll remember that I had already said very early that there's no other part of the election that will be this chaotic, this dramatic, this everything more than the primaries. The main election is nothing, but the nominations are a big deal. Yeah, I'd already said that I'd predicted earlier, and it was easy to predict. Yeah. Anyway, what I want to speak today about is a very interesting aspect that has just come into the equation, which has just complicated matters and will ensure that our primaries or our party nominations this time round are going to be the dirtiest, the filthiest, the most chaotic in the history of elections in Kenya. And this is the new animal in the political game in Kenya called the MCA, yeah, or Member of the County Assembly. Now, why do I say this is a new animal that makes things worse? Very simple. You see, the MCA is a post which we have introduced, which is like a small MP. You know, before we just had members of parliament. But now we have members of parliament mashinani. Because these people play exactly the same game members of parliament play. In fact, actually they are worse. Because these are the people who have been holding governors at ransom for trips abroad. They've been holding governors at ransom for all kinds of things, mostly to enrich themselves. You see, the way our constitution is right now, it's very easy for MCAs to gang up and send a governor home very early. Or at the very least, if not send him home, just make him impotent, like what happened in Makueni. Yeah, you just make a governor completely impotent. Because for him to pass anything, he needs MCAs. He needs MC approval, he needs the county assembly approval to get his program going. So these MCAs have become a power unto their own. What this means for us poor long-suffering Kenyan voters is that these people have been honing the tricks, have been honing their dirty tricks, you know, at that county level. Yeah, they've been learning all the tricks on how to put money in their pockets, all the best tricks of how to confuse the electorate and voters so that they enrich themselves. All these tricks they've been fine-tuning. And now many of them are about to introduce these very same tricks to national politics. And that is why the primaries are going to be even more and more chaotic. Because you see what has happened, these people have now, after, you know, the education there, primary school education, they now need to move to secondary, which is national politics. And that's why you'll notice countrywide, there are a lot of MCAs standing for senator, a lot of MCAs going for MP, a lot of MCAs, not a lot, a few MCAs are even trying for governor. Yeah. So this has just made the situation worse for us as voters. And if you're waiting for me in this recording to start saying, because I know a lot of people wait for that, for me to start saying, oh, NASA primaries are very chaotic, Jubilee Party nominations are better. I will never say that in 100 years. Or vice versa. I will never say that in 100 years. Because, according to me, all politicians are the same. All these animals called politicians are the same. And don't fool yourself for 1 minute that they're after the benefit of you and me. Okay? You know, I keep on seeing people very emotional about their candidates, very emotional about, oh, this man must go through. And, you know, I have nothing to feel for them except pity. Yeah? It is good to have emotions. It's good to have people you root for. It's good to have people, human beings that you want to worship. That's fine, that's you. But the truth of the matter is that all politicians are the same. Now, let me just point out to you one fact maybe a lot of us have forgotten. You know, according to the new constitution, parties are supposed to be financed by the exchequer. Yeah? Money comes out of the taxpayers' money to finance political parties. Now, we know that this has not gone very well, especially for the opposition parties and even the ruling party. There's not been a lot of money coming out of them or rather there's not been a lot of money coming from the exchequer going to political parties. We know that for a fact. But if we were to look at the issue of financing, we would have said since Jubilee is very well financed, their primaries should go better. And since NASA and ODM especially is not very well financed, their primaries should not go well. Well, there's some people who hold on to that view, but not me. Because after the ODM nominations, we've already seen the drama we're expecting from the Jubilee nominations. Just yesterday, we had a situation in Nyeri whereby a particular candidate standing for a parliamentary seat had bought the whole officials standing for the elections or having dinner as they stuffed the boxes in readiness for the nominations on Friday. Yeah, that was an incident in Nyeri. So bottom line, what I'm saying, all politicians are the same. And all politicians are not interested in your welfare and my welfare. They're interested in their own welfare. They're interested in their own, it's a get-rich scheme. Actually in Kenya, going into politics is a money-making enterprise. That's the long and short of it. Okay. So anyway, let's wait and see how this rest of the primaries go. We have a very interesting times. I had very tight battles, which in another recording I'll try and do some predictions. But for now, let's talk about the dirty tricks we have already seen, and some very dirty tricks we're going to see even in the main election. Okay, the main election is not, of course, it's not going to be as chaotic as these primaries, but there's some very dirty tricks on the way, and I think it's good for us to be aware of them. It's good for us as voters to have a heads up, because you will remember I spoke about a lot of these dirty tricks you're seeing now in a recording which I called How to Win an Election in Kenya. Yeah. In fact, if you look at the tail end of this recording, you will see a link where you can go and listen to that recording if you have not already listened to it, and you'll get a glimpse of the, I predicted the kind of dirty tricks you would see. Some of them we've not seen in play. Most of them we've already seen unfolding. Okay, but try and catch that so that at least you get an understanding. But for now, let me talk about some other dirty tricks which you should now expect, yeah, going forward, especially in the main election. One very interesting dirty trick we should look out for, yeah, and it's not very easy to detect, but from my information on the ground, this is going to be rampant, especially in these hotly contested seats, mostly the governorship, is this issue of having spoiler candidates. Yeah, I stand for a seat. I'm not that popular, but my campaign finances are such that they allow for me to introduce another candidate, carefully chosen, who will take votes away from my opponent. Okay, and as we go on the campaigning, I will not show any relation, or I will not show any connection to that candidate until the very last minute. Yeah, at the very last minute, I will say that I've examined myself and I've talked to the electorate and I've really thought things through and I've had sleepless nights, and finally I've come to the conclusion that candidate A is the best for you guys to choose. So go for him. All my supporters, I urge you, go and vote for him. Yeah. So watch out for that dirty trick. It's going to be rampant right across. It's just part of the schemes these money makers have to ensure that they confuse us voters as much as possible. It is part of the schemes they have to make sure that they go through, even when they are not the most popular candidate. Yeah, that's really it. So look out for that. I'll of course keep you informed about the other dirty tricks, the other inside information as I get it. So that's it for now. Thank you very much. This is Chris Komakuja. Bye.